Well, good morning. I'm Farmer Fred Detwiler from Pennsylvania, Zone 6. We've had some beautiful weather here in May, a lot of nice, warm, sunny days. The garden is flourishing. You know, right behind me you can see here over there on that side I have some curly leaf kale, and underneath the other low tunnel hoop house I have some Detroit red beets growing, and I also have a lot of my tomatoes and peppers and zucchini growing out in the garden. And so the garden is really off to a good start. So many of you may be wondering, how am I doing, or what happened to me? So let me just share, you know, back in 2015, near the end of the summer, I began my YouTube channel, and my last garden video I did was August of 2018, and so that's approximately 3.5 years of garden videos that I created. And so over those 3.5 years I have created over 600 how-to garden videos, and so I've covered pretty much every topic in the garden as far as planting different vegetables. So how have I been doing? Well, my lovely wife and I and Bailey have been doing very well. We're still following a plant-based lifestyle. I always share how the health benefits are amazing. I also decided to increase my health, and so in the beginning of 2018 I looked through some yard sales and garage sales and ended up finding a nice universal gym that I work out at 3 times a week. And I also purchased a nice treadmill for a good price, and that I try to do any cardio at least 3 to 5 times a week. I also do a lot of wood splitting here on our property, so all winter long I'm cutting down trees and hand splitting the firewood and stacking it, so that's a lot of good exercise. And so over the last couple years I had a lot of subscribers asking me about garden questions, and so my thought was to go over those questions over the last couple years and create videos of weekly question and answer and garden tips, where I can also include a few garden tips that are relevant for the time of the year. I also want to keep my videos under like 5 minutes or so. And if you have any questions or video suggestions, I would really appreciate that. You could leave them in the comment section below. I also have 5 grandchildren and 1 on the way, and Bailey is always at my side, as you probably have seen in my other videos, and so let me go get Bailey. He's right here on the ground, so you can say hi to him. Come here, Bailey. Come here. Hey. So here's Bailey. He's been doing really good. I always call Bailey my forever puppy. Bailey's about 10 years old, and every time we go hiking, a lot of people say, "Oh, look at the little puppy." Well, Bailey was the runt of the litter. He's a Maltese, and so he is always full of energy. He's always sitting on my lap or my shoulder, or always wanting to snuggle with me. And so he's always acting like a little puppy. And so that's one reason I call him my forever puppy. How you doing, little boy? Huh? You been a good boy? So the question I wanted to cover in today's video is, how often do you water a freshly planted garden? Well, here in Pennsylvania Zone 6, our last frost date is May 15th. And so a couple weeks ago, I myself planted all my little transplants out in my garden. And you certainly want to keep them watered every day. And a lot depends on how hot and dry it is in your area. But for the first couple weeks at least, until those roots can start getting established in the ground, you really want to focus on watering your plants at least daily. I tend to water my plants at nighttime, maybe a couple hours before it gets dark. And so in the evening is usually when I plant or water my plants. A couple hours before dark, it allows some of that water that's on the foliage to be able to evaporate, because you don't want to cause any disease either by having a lot of dampness on your plants. So Also, when you water, once the plants are mature, you want to try and water your garden maybe once a week. Now, unless you get a couple rainstorms during the week, obviously you don't need to water as often. But in general, at least 1 inch of during the week, a nice deep watering, because you want to establish, you want your roots to be able to go nice and deep into the soil, establish a deep root system. That way your plants will grow larger and produce more fruit. And so if you just do a lot of shallow watering, then the roots are going to be shallow. Your plants won't be as healthy. Now, if you have a drip irrigation system, you can water in the evening, no problem. Now, if you're direct sowing your seeds directly into the soil, you really want to make sure you keep that soil nice and moist during that germination period. You could also lay over the soil some of your spun bonded polyester or some type of blanket that'll help retain that moisture in the soil, but you really want to keep them watered daily so that that germination process is successful. And so let me just remind you again, if you have any comments or questions or suggestions on videos, I really appreciate your feedback. It's always nice keeping in contact with my subscribers. Also, over the last couple years, I have actively answered questions on any subscriber that has asked me questions. Also, my wife suggested that I include some of my wildlife photographs at the end of my video. One thing I've discovered with videography and photography is that I've really enjoyed taking wildlife photographs. When I began this channel, I had zero understanding of photography and videography, so it's really been a very steep learning curve for me. Although it's a learning curve I have really enjoyed. Starting these videos up again it's a little nervous for me, but it's something I enjoy, and I always also enjoy sharing the knowledge that I have. So I just want to thank you for joining me today out here in the vegetable garden. So until next time, happy gardening. Bye for now. You're not allowed to dig in the garden.